everyone. Welcome to another edition of Chamber Chat. I'm the hostess of your show, Lauren Grymek, and the executive director of the Melrose Chamber of Commerce. And as you can see, we're not on the set of MMTV due to social distancing and the state of the world, but we know how much you love Chamber Chat, and we are committed to bringing you new episodes. And our first episode virtually is really timely because I've got Julie Unger, who's the market manager for the Melrose Farmers Market with me today. So let's welcome Julie to the show. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Lauren. Thanks for having us on Chamber Chat.
Oh, I love it. And what better timing? I know we've been talking a lot about having you on the show, but at the time we're taping this, we are literally, 2 weeks away from the opening day. Is that correct?
Yep. Opening day is Thursday, June 4th.
That's incredible. Well, we are going to get into details because there's a lot that's happening with the market this season. But, I always start my show with like the softball question of what is the farmers market? So why don't you give us a little bit of the history and kind of where it's come from and where it is today?
Yeah, so the Melrose Farmers Market, formerly was the Sally Frank's Farmers Market, was founded in 1994 by Sally Frank. She really saw a need for fresh produce, access to fresh foods to the Melrose community, and she brought about 4 farms at the back of City Hall in the parking lot there, and had a farmer's market there for a number of years. And it moved to a couple locations and went through a few volunteer managers. Heather McDonald was the manager for a couple years and then passed it along to Cindy Chabot, who moved the farmer's market to where it is today at Bowden Park.
Sure. It sounds like when I think about it, Sally was kind of I feel like ahead of the curve, like that long ago. I feel like nowadays that's all we hear about is access to fresh produce. Farms are really big, especially, living here in New England. And, everybody's, wanting to be healthy, wanting to support local growers, the kind of farm to table movement. And, it's grown substantially since then. What about yourself? When did you jump in?
So I started with the market in 2017. The first, I guess, paid market manager. It was, you talk about how it's grown so much. We went from, I think, like 13,000 market goers for a 21-week period to about 18,000 this last year. So
Wow.
It's grown significantly. People do want access to fresh fruits and vegetables and meats, and they want to support local entrepreneurs, and the farmers market's a really great place for that, for people to test their products before they can move on to like a brick and mortar. So I've really enjoyed taking on the market. It's such a community event at the same time. It really brings people together. For those that come to the market, you pick up your vegetables, your bread, your cheese, your meat, and you can pick up some prepared foods. You can put out a blanket and sit and hang out, and the kids can play, and you can see your neighbors that you don't always see because you're rushing to work all the time. But it's been a great community resource, I feel like.
Sure. No, that's great. And you kind of described some of the things that we might find when we're there. To be clear, for newer residents that haven't gotten to experience the market yet, it's Bowden Park, which is next to the Cedar Park kind of commuter rail station across from Sweet Spot Bakery and Justine Sperling Design. Also great chamber members like the Farmers Market. When you talk about the entrepreneurs, what kind of products might we find there that's not, the produce and fresh food?
Yeah, so it'll look different this year, but in the past several years, we've had crafters that have, handmade jewelry, soaps. There's pastries and baked goods that
those are my favorite.
Yeah, the Fabians and Pure Pastry. Yeah. And we've great partnership with Sweet Spot Bakery, and they make an appearance several times a month at the market, which is a great community partnership.
Cool. That's awesome. And I love that, as someone that's my job is to like promote local, promote small businesses. I mean, the market is all about that, supporting these small farmers, supporting these, like you said, entrepreneurs. I know you have some nonprofits there sometimes. And so, there are a lot of us who are regular market goers, and we're so thrilled that the market is going to happen. And I know that that has not been an easy plan, that you've had to completely pivot from the blueprint you've had in years past, right? Just when you've gotten familiar in your role, running it and building it up to what it's been, all of a sudden you're almost planning like a completely new
Oh,
and different market.
spot on. Like it's completely different. Obviously we want to provide fresh produce to everybody, and especially those in need. We do have a lot of SNAP shoppers, which is the food stamps program, and we provide a match. But we want to provide a COVID compliant, safe market where people feel comfortable shopping. It'll be a combination of in-person shopping, but you have to actually make a reservation on Eventbrite for a specific time to come and shop at the market. The hours have changed. It was normally 2 to 7. The market will now be from 12 to 6 p.m. And we're even going to have pre-order, prepay, pickup area. So there's an area at the end of the park where people can, and we'll have signs so it's very clear, but people can pick up their produce or their products at the pickup area and not have to shop if they're not comfortable with it.
Sure. So it sounds like you sort of think of your regular grocery shopping experience where we used to be able to sort of walk up to a store, go right in, get what we need, check out, and now, you've incorporated a lot of the same practices to, keep people safe at this time, but keep the market going, which is great.
Yeah. No.
I was going to say, I think folks, are pretty good about getting used to the new normal, and hopefully that will be kind of the same, for you. Is there, a couple things you did describe the shopping experience, but like, is there like one or two things that you really want to kind of stress to people as they get into the new market experience?
Yeah, well, outdoor shopping is the safest. So, feel confident that there's low transmission rate outside. We do require everyone to wear a mask when they're shopping, and we'll have hand sanitizers and washing stations. It's interesting because if you go to a grocery store, you don't actually have to like sanitize your hands, but we will have that at the market. You won't be able to touch any of the product, and sampling, that won't happen. It's mostly just working with the vendor. The vendor will package all the produce or the boxes, and it will be mostly cashless. We are recommending everyone use credit card, or in some cases you can use Venmo or PayPal.
Right. And so on that note, you will be able to, like, let's say it's Thursday morning and I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't go online or do anything ahead of time. I can still come down
Yes, that's a good
within those hours of 12 to 6 and shop the market. Is that correct?
really good question. Yes, you can. We'll have some spots where it's all about square footage and timing for the market. So we've scheduled 30 spots per 30 minutes, but we can fit 45 people in. So there is going to be a line for those that pre-registered, and there's a line for those that are walk-up.
Sure.
But just be patient with us. This is our first time doing this. We're taking on some models that other markets are doing, and they've been successful at it, but it's going to take a little bit of finessing, I think, in the next couple weeks.
Sure. I mean, I think, we've seen that in the last couple of months. Like, we've already talked about kind of traditional grocery shopping, and, even now as things start to open back up, right at the time of the show, salons and barber shops are opening back up, dentist office, they all have new restrictions and procedures in place. And so it's not like you're trying to do something super unique. I mean, like you said, other markets are doing it, and it's just our new way of life, I think, for a little while. So,
yeah, I mean, it's going to look a little different. You're going to want to hang out probably, but we're going to recommend, you just come in and shop and say hi and go. But
Sure.
you will notice that we'll have less vendors than normal. We usually have about 30 vendors at the market, and that does include like arts and crafts and businesses and nonprofits. And that's where we get a lot of our vendor fees pay for like my salary or the SNAP match program. And so we're going from 30 vendors to 10 to 13 vendors each week. So we're taking a hit. It's the same amount of time, but for work hours, but it's less money.
Sure. And actually, I mean, to me, it sounds like more work, right? I know that you put your heart and soul into the market, so a lot of times you probably just do it, but certainly creating a whole new market and being able to, bring this to the community is amazing, and I super appreciate it as well. I mean, I think, the market has always been, as you said, like based on community and a place where people hang out. A lot of times there's live music or yoga, or some fitness demonstration. And
Cows, animals, things like that. Yeah.
yeah, and I think, it's just another example of our new normal. But I mean, we're super thrilled that you guys are able to do this, and you've gotten I know you're waiting on approvals and support from the city. It sounds like you have that as well.
We just got that today, which is fantastic. I mean, we were on the call earlier when I
You're
got
setting up.
I was like, yeah, thank God. Yeah, we were 2 weeks away. So really fortunate that the city's been working with us, and we're making sure that it's going to be a safe market for everyone to be at, and that you can still access all of your fresh fruits and vegetables and meats and cheese, fish, bread. Yeah, we want to make sure that we can support the vendors, but we can also support the community.
Sure. So just believe it or not, we've got to kind of wrap up the interview and the episode here. But if you can just remind folks the best way to go about the pre-ordering or where they can find the information.
Yeah, so we'll have a pre-order tab on our website. So just melrosefarmersmarket.org. You can go there and see which vendors will be at the market that week. And we'll also have a link for the Eventbrite tickets for each market. You have to register for your time slot, and that will also be on our website. And if the people want to support the market financially in any way, there's a link for donations. We are a 501c3, and we could always use community support financially and also volunteer wise, and that information is also on our website.
Great, that's awesome. Well, personally, from me to you, thank you for making this happen for our community, and we appreciate it. We know you're dealing with everything else that we're all dealing with in our new normal, with family and health and everything. So thank you for fighting so hard to keep it on. And for those of you watching, make sure 2 weeks from today, every Thursday from 12 to 6 is the Melrose Farmers Market in Bowdoin Park next to Cedar Park, right here in Melrose, Massachusetts. So we appreciate your patience as we get used to the new format and the new experience, but we know that you'll love it and you'll appreciate it, especially in the summer months. So thanks so much for watching, and until the next episode, I'm Lauren.